Are officially plugged into the Overview Podcast.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Overview Radio, bringing you Overview Podcast with Joey. But today it's a special edition, man. It's Overview Podcast with me and not also with me and with other people. You'll see why I say that and everything. Before we get into it, guys, remember to support the channel by subscribing. Hit the subscribe button, gents. Before you carry on with the show, support the channel so that we can get this going and everything. Just hit the subscribe button. That's how you make us grow, and that's how we are able to give you this content and to carry on and all that. Like I said, man, it's a special episode today. Go di people movement ngwaga o simolola go na le di-Valentines, go na le bo month of youth, go na le bo Women's Day, this and that, Women's Month and all that. But November, you know what? November is the month for men and everything mainly, So yeah, today we were like, you know what? Let's just come have a conversation on men. The month of November, it's what's the month of men's health?
Yeah, it's the month of, I think, Men's Health Awareness Month.
Okay, yeah, November is Men's Health Awareness Month. And today, as we're shooting this episode, it was on International Men's Day, So, yeah, we thought that we could just come around, have a conversation and all that, and make things different today, Familiar faces are back on the show today. On my left is the one and only Pastor Mmoloki
Is that my nickname now?
Yo, I had forgotten.
Trust Agatha to do it.
Yeah, well, Rukomankaleng today, having the conversation on men and all that. And to my right, is the one and only, another familiar face as well. She will be hosting the show today. As a woman, she will be hosting us men, having the conversation with us and everything. So the one and only boss lady, Agatha Atlholang. Before I hand over to boss lady let me just remind you guys that we're shooting this episode from the content center. Whenever you want to create podcasting or whatsoever content, check out the content center can get the Content Center Africa. Yeah, check out the Content Center Africa on social media platforms, and then you see what you can get out there. Boss lady?
Yes,
man. The honor is yours. Yeah, you can start by telling us why do you... Pastor, this woman, she just loves men so much, eh?
Oh.
So much, she's all for men and everything, and this was her whole idea.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so can you kindly take over my show and interview me on my show?
On your show.
Yeah.
But isn't it a little awkward for you to be sitting on the more receiving end?
It is. I always find it awkward when I'm when I do interviews, as the guest.
Yeah.
Whenever they invite me for TV interviews, I there's always this awkwardness
Is it?
and everything.
You're not used to it.
Yeah, no. I'm used to be the one asking the questions.
Okay. Well, I hope you're going to have a great time today, Joey.
Yeah.
And Pastor, thank you so much for honoring the invite. I'm one of your fans. We've actually been on a panel together, and I just loved your approach and how open-minded you are on certain issues. So I asked Joey, I think ask the pastor to come through, and I think we'd have a very amazing conversation with him. Yeah. But like we are saying, Tsatsieno is International Men's Day, gentlemen. One of the things that I have realized more high, we have a men crisis And this crisis is something that is really not spoken about. We see what's happening. Nobody wants to have the conversation about it. So it's nice to come and have sober minds, have a conversation on it. When I Joey, more so from the perspective, Yahori, you have been on a journey. You've been on a journey of personal development. Maybe before I even start, just tell us a little bit about that, because maybe just tell us a little bit about that, about your journey.
Here's okay. Like, let me try to take it from the top.
Yeah.
You know, our like, there's something interesting about our education system.
Yes.
You get it?
Yes.
There are some things that we are taught at school.
Yes.
You know, academics and all that and everything, but some sort of negligence when it comes to life. You get it? Okay, for you to transcend into a man, or for you to transcend into a woman, you know, a centered human being, what should you do, or like what are the ways to go about that? You know, what are the practices and everything. So my personal development journey, surprisingly, you know, all those things, like, they were the things that I encountered during that time. You know, since until I'm at this age, you know, there are a lot of things that I never really known. You know, you know, like, there are a lot of things that, you know, it's surprising, because these are the things you get it? Yes. And I know that my fellow age mates living at this time and everything. You get it? So the most visible thing to me, or for me, is the weight loss.
Yes.
You get it?
Yes.
That's like, that is part of the personal development as well. You get it? I mean, as a man, you know, there's this thing here, adversity builds a character of a man. You get it? So with the weight loss, I had to channel that in, or, you know what, adversity builds a character of a man. So let me have something that like, what's the term? Like, do something saying
would bring that out.
And
give you a bit of adversity.
On a daily basis. You know, and there's no better way than fitness. They know, like there's no better way than gym.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
so with that, you tell okay, you kill two birds with one stone. You know, you become fit, at the same time you learn how to become a man.
Wow.
You know, as you lift weights, as you carry those.
I like that. I like that.
Yes.
Pastor, I think for you, my question would be, in light of what you is saying, bana ba ha ba hola, it seems as if we are not introducing them to certain things. Like, are we doing enough in terms of how are we transitioning bana re godisa bana yang gore ba te ba tsene into those different stages tsa botshelo? Are we doing enough as adults?
Sadly, a lot of us come from broken families.
Yes.
Yeah, and if we are talking about men, to be honest with you, we do not have many families where we have functional families the way God intended it, you know. And so we find that a lot of us grew up in single parents' home, and that single parent being a mother. And where the man was there, you may find that he may have been physically present, but emotionally absent. Or he may have been extra physically present where there was abuse in the house. Children, mothers. I don't know whether you watched a testimony from our church 2 weeks ago about a young lady who was a lesbian.
Okay.
And through the counseling with me, we discovered that there was a lot of abuse in the house.
Yes.
The father was very abusive to the mother, although he was not directly abusive to her physically, but it made her resent men and anything that is male. And therefore, as she grew, her rejection of men led her more towards affection to women. So I had to take her through a process over many years of healing her inner core until such a time where she was healed. And she's been married now for, is it 10 years? Like, there's no sign at all that there was ever that confusion in terms of who she is.
Yeah.
So there's a serious problem in our society of brokenness.
Yes.
And maybe as we go along the line, I'll also share about my own story to see how broken I was and what it took for me to become the man that I am today. So there's a real problem there.
Yeah, but I don't want us to lose your train of thought. I actually want to get into it, your story, what it actually was for you. Maybe share with us so we can actually understand your perspective.
Yeah, I was raised by a single parent. My mother, she was not married. And I don't know, from a very young age, I was a very naughty boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As boys are supposed to be naughty.
Yeah. I mean, I was it's like I was the guy who was always looking for trouble. It seemed.
Yeah.
But I later realized after I dealt with my inner core that I think I was looking for attention. Yeah. But I was looking for it in the wrong way.
Places.
Yeah. So I grew up with a lot of rejection because as a naughty boy, I brought the wrong kind of attention. My mother had to discipline me a lot. I mean, I was sniffing glue benzene by standard 3. By standard 6, I was drinking Black Label, Lion, Rumba. By standard 6, you know. So I was this boy who was
busy. You were busy.
I was busy at primary school, you know. So my mother was overly strict on me, which I guess she didn't have much choice because she had to be both a mother and a father to me. She needed that man who could help her with this boy who had too much energy. But then, looking at her, she was also a single parent, so she had a lot on her plate.
100%.
As if that was not enough,
100%.
she was a firstborn of 7 children. Okay? And her own parents had gone through divorce because my grandfather was abusive to her mother, my grandmother. You understand? So my mother then had to, she was an intelligent woman, she had to like quickly get qualified as a teacher so that she can then help her own mother to take care of the rest of the siblings. You understand? So she sacrificed her life to help her mother, who was now basically, I mean, you know how it is in the olden days. My grandmother was just a housewife. My grandfather was, actually, my grandfather was doing very well then. He had a lot of, so when the marriage broke down because of abuse in the house, my grandmother had to go and start afresh, literally. And that meant her children had to help her. There was a time where they actually had to sell traditional beer. So you can see that the pressure on my mother from her own family, her siblings, and then I was coming and I was just a problem child. You can understand that she had a lot of anger issues, frustrations within her. And of course, I was right there doing my own things, and there was a lot of abuse there. And my father was there. He was a married man. He had his own family, very common in this country. We will see him visiting. He will go. We knew he was our father, but there was really not much of a relationship. Plus, he was a quiet man. So we feared him, you know, but we wanted to know him. But when he comes, you know, you have to go outside, respect the elders and stuff. So you yearn as a child to know your father because that's your identity. I mean, if you think about fathers play a huge role in who we are. That's why I say absolutely. You understand? The Y chromosome also plays its part in. So our identity is very much, you know, it's about the father figure. Everything is about the father. So your surname is the father and all of those things, you know. So I found myself in a place where I had cravings for a father's love. And I realized the power of a father, or let me say the power of a man. Because when I was doing standard 6 and I was really, really bad, you know, like they had given up on me, my father then decided to write a letter to me. I was doing standard 6. And in that letter, he told me that he heard about all the things that I was doing and that he cared about my future and me and that I must behave better. Receiving that letter, reading that letter, this was in 1987. There was something that happened inside of me. It's like something just clicked in place.
It totally flipped.
And
just
changed everything. It's like in my being, like looking at it now, it's like I was validated. My existence was validated. The fact that this man was saying, you are my son. And I want better for you. It was the first time through a letter. I heard that he's my father. I saw him coming.
Yeah.
But it was the first time where he actually verified to me that you are actually my son.
Affirmation.
And and I want something happened to me, and I decided that I'll never disappoint this man. You know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I remember a week or two later, I was tempted by guys that came with glue. I sniffed. As soon as I got high, the letters, the words of my father, they all came, and I started crying. I told these guys, I will never disappoint my father again. And I can tell you, this was in 1987. I've never done drugs since then.
Wow.
This was even before I became a Christian.
Oh my gosh, this is so powerful. You know why? Because, you know, like in my line of practice, so I'm a certified life coach and I deal with men as well. And there's always the point where with some men, it's like, I need to go and find my father.
That thing is big.
I need to go and find my father. And no matter what it is, there's always that thing, so I can relate and I can understand what you're saying. Joey, for you, you're a dad, right?
Yeah.
And I see you're spending a lot of time with your son.
Yes.
And I know your experience is a little different. You lost your dad when you were 5 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. Raising your little boy today and seeing the difference where not because Papa wasn't there and your son now and how you relate, what are you seeing in terms of the importance of a man being around Wana Musimani? What is your son teaching you maybe about what you didn't experience with your father because he was late?
Yeah. Because with me, as you mentioned, same as Pastor, I was raised by a single mother, single widowed mother.
Yes.
Yeah, because my dad died when I was 5.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, with you know, there's
When I'm Mr. Born within wedlock. Yes, continue.
yes. Yes. Single widowed mother. You get it.
Yeah.
With that, like Pastor has mentioned, you know, there will always be some sort of fragmentation, more bani. Yeah,
yes.
babalin thing, you know, whenever the woman is the one who's holding the fort and everything, you get it. So growing up without a father, I only got to realize now after studying the personal development journey, the difference. Okay, what did I lack?
Yes.
Then,
yes.
And also with the experience of me raising my son, it helps me to see the balance, the balance and the difference.
Okay.
You get it. So what my son teaches me is that as a father, first things first, you need to be present.
Yeah.
You get it. And as you know, presence physically, psychologically, emotionally, and financially. You get it. So you need to be present as a father, because I would see how my son reacts or acts whenever like he behaves totally different.
Yes.
But when I'm around, he behaves the opposite.
Yeah.
You get it. You can tell like there's some sort of centeredness in him.
Yeah.
You know, even when
just like Pastor mentioned, something just brought him to himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see, I would see when, like the conversation that we had the other day, whenever he's from school and then he has performed well, I would be the first person that he tells.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
And then I would realize, you know what? I missed that growing up.
Yeah.
You get it? And how I would encourage him
Yeah.
to, you know, like to be serious with school and everything. I mean, for one, I was never serious with school.
Yeah.
You get it? Like my teachers always set me down, Bantabar, you know, you have great potential, but what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
You get it? It's like you don't give school attention and all that. So with him, I see now that, you know what? I lacked the voice of a father.
Of a dad.
You get it?
Yeah.
Be serious with school.
Yeah.
Do this and that.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, comparing myself to my friends who had, you know, like their fathers and all that, like they were always serious with their schoolwork.
Yeah.
You get it? But with me, I was never serious with school and everything. And also with life, hella, even, you know, I would always see whenever I I exercise, he's there.
Yeah.
You know, he's interested in
And he's
doing that.
imitating you.
Exactly, and he's imitating me and
Yeah,
everything. And then
yeah.
that also teaches me that, you know what, as children, we
Yeah.
imitate our fathers.
Yes.
So we need to be good role models to our fathers.
Absolutely.
So as a man or as a
Absolutely.
father, you really need
Yeah.
to work on yourself, because what I also realize now is that, you know, the way majority of us behavior ya rona ha o re lebella. That's why swana se re ngwana o tlo go tona o sira rra. You get it? Behavior ra rona hela, you know, it has to do with how you related to your father.
I like that. I like that, because if you look at the pillars, we've got 6 pillars for International Men's Day.
Yeah.
At the top, gentlemen, to promote positive male role models. Simply speaking to what you're talking about. Number 2, to celebrate men's positive contributions, to focus on men's health and well-being, to highlight discrimination against males, to improve gender relations and improve gender equality, and to create a safer and better world. But Bona Helauer, at the top, we're talking about role models, and this is how important men are. And I think this is where I will then throw it to us women. Re kgona go ira bana hela ka bo IVF ko kana re kgona go nna di single mom. A mme gone re direla bana sente. Put aside the fact ya gore nka tswa ke na le di issue le motho a re.
Yeah.
Why am I then allowing my personal issues to get in the way of a relationship ya ngwana le rragwe? Ladies, that's something to think about. But then going back to you, Pastor, on this whole thing ya gore ha banna yaanong ba sena bo ntata bone, looking at both of you and how you grew up. And I think this one is more to your practice and what you are doing and the call on your life. Gore a mme banna ba itse botlhokwa jwa go ikaga when they are coming from these kind of homes, when they have missed this part, having the father come in, raise them. Because sometimes kana motho ha tswa mo lelapeng leo ga a lemoge di-dysfunction tsa gagwe.
Of course.
So I know tsamaya hela I feel like it's everybody else's fault. I would like for you to just speak on that and the importance of go ikaga coming from such a background. And by the way, we're not saying that Ghana children don't choose where they come from. But they do choose how their lives end up. Could you just elaborate on that?
Okay, you can't help somebody who does not acknowledge that there is a problem.
Absolutely.
So the question you are asking is very critical. Ame banna ba itemoga their brokenness, and whether then they do seek help. Let me give an example of rejection, for example.
Yes.
I grew up feeling rejected, okay,
Yes.
because of what I described earlier.
Yes.
And when you feel rejected, usually you react, okay? And from
so rejection in a reaction.
reaction, yeah.
That's it, okay.
Yeah. So there are 4 main ways usually that people react to rejection.
Okay.
The first one, it can be performance.
Right, performance.
Yeah, performance is when you say, because people are rejecting me, I'm going to prove them wrong.
Yes.
So I'm going to perform to prove that, look, you are wrong to reject me. And a lot of the lives that we live nowadays, especially with social media, we are performing a lot. We are trying to prove a point to people. Whether it's the girl that you are with, the car that you drive, the house, or the area that you live in, even the job that you pursue.
This overachieving.
Overachieving, you are out there, and that's we're asking the question: are they aware? People are driven to succeed, not because they are in touch with who they are. They are trying to prove a point because rejection has made them feel somehow, and they want to move away from that.
Pastor, could we say that it's a subconscious response e leng gore ga ba lemoge gore ba drive-wa ke the subconscious mind?
And that's where we go now to the psychology of a person growing up. And because you're talking about men, we'll talk about a man. They say by the time a child turns 3,
Yes.
a boy turns 3,
Yes.
50% of their outlook at life is decided. And that means how the child is treated before they turn 3.
Yes.
Kore ha ngwana a lela,
Yes.
do you bring them in? Do you solve their problem, or you leave them? And what does subconsciously what is being wired there? By the time they turn 18, they say 90% of their outlook at life or their character is set. That means subconsciously there is a wiring, a programming that is done. And it's very difficult for people to change their view of life after that. That's why these formative years are critical. You understand? And so the subconscious wiring, that is what makes it hard for people to then know that they have a problem. Let me give you a very practical example.
Yes.
We celebrate independence. When somebody is independent, they are able to do stuff for themselves.
Yes.
We celebrate that. We say this is a strong person. If it's a woman, an independent woman, we celebrate that. Say this person, this woman can do things for herself. But we don't realize that sometimes that independence was a reaction to disappointment. The people who were supposed to support you, to be there for you, to cover you, were not there. Again and again, you were disappointed. So what happened within you is that you then disconnected other people. And you decided, for me to survive, I need to do this thing for myself. And so what that does is that it disconnects you from society. Remember, made in the image of God is not just spiritual, it's also relational.
100%.
Relationships are like oxygen.
Yes.
Yeah. So you come to a place where you think you don't need anyone, where you corner, and then you become Rambo. Why do Rambo? Steering. Hey, when steering, everything. Okay, you pay it. And so what that does is that now, as you grow up, you realize, well, I actually need a husband. I need children. I need people in my life because I have achieved a lot. I have a lot of stuff. I have money. I have cars, but I'm lonely. Yeah.
Yes.
But now this independence that you had to adopt so that you are able to survive disappointment becomes your stumbling block. You don't know how to connect emotionally. You understand? And that's what leads us to the second reaction to rejection, which is withdrawal.
Number 2.
Yeah, that's number 2.
Performance. Right.
Then we go to withdrawal.
Okay.
Withdrawal, you're like, I've been so disappointed by people, I'm going to cut people off. And I'm going, and then I'm going to live in my own space, managing my own things.
Yes.
And of course, because we are not made that way, we become very sad.
Yes.
That's why we now begin to sing those songs, lonely.
I'm Mr. Lonely. I'm nobody. I'm on my own.
And we look for all the sad songs, depressing ourselves more, and no one loves. Now you blame everyone. Everything. You are looking for something to cope because loneliness is not what you are made for. Yeah. And then we can go to the third reaction.
Right, number 3.
Yeah, to rejection. That's what we call compliance.
Okay.
Yeah, compliance when you say, people don't reject me, they don't accept me, so I'm going to comply to their demands. I'm going to do everything they want me to do so that they can accept me. That's where now you make yourself cheap. You become easily used by other people because you are so desperate to belong or to be loved that you are willing to compromise your own values just for acceptance.
So this is where men now,
So situation where the guy wants to please every girl and girls take advantage of that. There are girls out there who know this guy is weak. He doesn't have yes or no, and girls will use him, and they'll take a ride. They'll use their money, and then they'll have somebody that women still need leadership from men. So they don't want a weak guy. So he becomes cheap. in their sight. And then he realizes he's not valued. People call him only when they need something from him. They love his hands, what he does, more than his heart. And what that does is that it leaves a sour taste in you. And then it brings you to a place where you realize, you know what, people actually really use me. And it can take you back to withdrawal where you don't want anyone, or you can go to the fourth one, which is the worst state to find yourself. This is where you have now reached what we call the downward spiral of bitterness. You criticize everything.
Megana Pastor, before it's an amoria before. You number 3 uni. Kana make you ne risang ko GBV uni.
Of course.
Because ya no ke tswa go betcha ke tswa o graduate tse tsote kanteleng yana ke bona mosetsanyana eniu. Ana le bafana ba bang.
Yeah.
Nna ke sa bolo go patela. Ibile ha gongwe ga ke jela ha ile
Sleep, yeah.
So ya no ke a tsaya ke a bola.
So what happens there is then now the realization that you have been used builds up anger inside of you. You understand?
Yeah.
And that anger, usually anger, but by GBV, has already anger from that situation. Yeah,
it's a build up.
Anger, it connect the fact, yeah, it la hola. Ababa na gongwe ra ga betsa mmago. Oh, I've actually, as a counselor, I've actually met the reverse where a young boy growing up saw their mother cheating on their father. And this brought a lot of anger in them. Actually, I found out that a lot of guys who are promiscuous, who have multiple relationships, actually they have come not to value women because when they looked at their mother, and our parents are like gods. They are our first authority. So when you see your own parent doing things, your value of that particular gender goes down. You are projecting, yes. So I find that a lot of guys who do not value the women they are with, and they are all over, something has been broken in them. And so that anger, you know what they have towards how can my mother do this? Or how can my father do this? That has been building up. So what it does then, the way this one is treating them now connects to the anger that was in the subconscious. Then the explosion.
Fireworks.
And that is why this guy is about to tell him, but this guy was the sweetest guy. How can he? Why was he sweet? He was managing what was inside and trying to be accepted. And now where he was trying to be accepted has connected with the anger that he had stored from the past.
Absolutely.
And then what's that anger yoki becomes the punching bag. And that is why a lot of them, once they have done the deed, they have killed somebody or they have done something, the amount of regret, because they regret only what they have done. They regret, this is the same thing I wanted to avoid in my life because I saw what it did to my own family.
Wow.
Interesting.
Now going on to that fourth, or did you want to ask something?
Carry on. I'm more interested on the fourth one because I'm living. Because I'm living in the digital era and everything. You know, like we see a lot of people just criticize everything. Even some people are just staunch critics. You get it. So
you're starting to
so I'm trying to understand that because it doesn't make sense. You get it? Because
how can people be overly critical?
Everything.
Exactly.
Criticize everything.
As someone who's trying to make something say it's on a public domain. You get it? Like we are exposed to criticism that is just so there's nothing wrong with criticism, but sometimes
and high constructive. High constructive.
And also she always says Botswana is a feminine country. And you look at us you look at our behavior online. And with what you're saying can you please
let's go on to number 4. So interesting.
It's very interesting what you say there about constructive criticism. The question is, how can you be constructive in your criticism if you have never constructed anything?
Absolutely.
You understand?
That's a bar. Can you say that again? Repeat it. That's a bar.
How
Guys,
can-
that's a bar.
How can you be constructive
Yeah.
in your criticism if you have never constructed anything?
100%.
So a lot of people who are criticizing, you ask them. I know the president upset some people a few weeks back. I was like, when I 21, what did you do? So what have you constructed? And how can we expect constructive criticism from you when you haven't done? But let me go to the fourth one, which is the criticism stage. This is now Megi Bueka Stwana.
Yes.
How much analytic cons? Abaya ko lenyalo. Go le monate go binwa. A pere dithago tse di tight. Batho ba bina re setse and people are coming close to his feet.
Yeah.
And you brush over their shoe. Do you know how they will react? Their reaction, the anger that they react, and what you have done. Why? Because Ronald didn't talk already. So any pressure that is a problem. And that is what the stage 4 is when you have been hurt so much, disappointed so much, rejected so much, and you have tried, maybe you have tried the 3 that we have already talked about. You have tried to perform, that is, tried to prove to people that you are a good person, they must accept you. You have tried to say, okay, because okay, you have tried to comply to their demands. Now you are at a place where they still don't accept you, they still suffer from this rejection. So now what happens is that you become bitter. Because there's so much bitterness in your heart because of how and if you think about it, find any bitter person, there are people who are responsible for their bitterness. And usually it comes from our foundation. The people that were supposed to be our caretakers, usually they have done things that have hurt us.
100%.
So you are at a place where there's so much anger in you. That's why for me, because I'm also online, when people criticize me for whatever, instead of attacking them, I usually look at them and say, you understand? What is it that brought
And
them
that's
to
wisdom,
what is it that has brought them to a place where everything just offends them? They are just offended by everything. Offended. That's why that's why I was able to forgive my mother for the way she. My mother told me when I was doing standard 6 that even if I die, she won't cry. She was so tired of, my behavior that she spoke these words. And I know she loves me. It was a way of maybe trying to wake me up from this born. I love you, don't do this. But the way she was saying it, you understand, was very damaging to me. So it's very important for us to heal. From whatever it is. And I'll talk about the process of healing.
I like that.
Because if we don't heal, we sabotage ourselves. We sabotage our families, our lovers. We sabotage our children. A lot of anger that is bottled up in men, unfortunately spilling over to their families, to the society, to the nation. And we find ourselves in the situation that we are in today. A lot of men, unfortunately, are not humble enough to say, I am broken and I need help.
Even better coming from a man's, from the horse's mouth. Go ahead,
can I
Joey.
ask something? Yes. 2 questions to you, Father. Pastor. You think so? All these things, rejection, time. It can breed all of this.
It can breed all of that.
Yeah. And then mutabahela kanza.
Look, okay, family is supposed to give every child 3 things. A sense of belonging.
Yes. An identity.
A sense of identity. And a sense of security.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And this is the family.
Yeah.
That means when the mother is playing her role, feminine side, fully in touch with it, and the father is playing his role, the masculinity, and it's well balanced in him, it's well balanced in the mother, and they bring this to the children. Children feel that they belong. This is big. One of the reasons why our children, as they become teenagers at school, they do strange things. They're trying to belong. There's a gap. There's a craving to belong. And they find these naughty guys who seem to know what they are doing, and it seems like it's the envy of the whole school. So our children who do not have a sense of belonging want to belong to something. You understand? And so when we don't give a child that from home, we put them in danger of going out there to look for it. I raise girls. My firstborn is doing third year at university. The second born is doing Form 3. The last born just wrote Standard 7. It's girls only. And I always tell them, guys, and they're like, Daddy, what do you mean? Like, I wish I had a father like you. And they're like, Daddy, you're always saying that. You understand? You know why? Because when their mother is strict, they come to report her to me. When I am strict, they go to the mother. And there's that balance of, the mother being the mother, the father being the father, and they're getting the best of both worlds. You understand? And so you find that when children don't have that sense of belonging, sugar daddies out there are going to give them that. But is it healthy? They are going to want to use them. But because they give them that father love, you understand? And that is why you'll find that a lot of girls who craved a father's love growing up, they are attracted to older men. What are they looking for? They are looking for that security that they never had. You understand? So a sense of belonging, a sense of security, where a child comes home and they feel, a home should be a place where everyone feels very secure, very safe. But when you go home and there's violence at home, there's GBV and all of that, children now find being outside the home a more comforting place. But what happens outside there? They get involved in all kinds of wrong things out there. By the receive. Because they are looking for that thing. And then this family then will give them a sense of identity. Oma. Omangwe. Now who are you? And that is why in my case, my father writing me a letter answered that question. I am this man's son. And what am I going to do to make sure that I make him proud? And I can say today, my father is an old man. He's, my father was born in 1930 something. 1931. You understand? He's 74. Is it 74 or 84? Yeah. No, it's
older than that. My father was born in 48.
My father is...
He's quite old. Your dad is old.
So I have the best relationship with my father today. We are friends. Like we can sit and talk the whole day. He's a quiet man, but I'm one son who makes him talk. And that's why I know a lot about my background, because we connected. And I'll tell you how we got to connect.
That second question.
The second question, you said you cannot, as a man, you cannot be assisted when you can, like when you don't acknowledge that you need a problem.
You have a problem.
You have a problem, I meant to say rather. You need help. Thank you. My question is this. How would you know that you need help or that you have a problem? Let me give you my upbringing, for example. You see, with you, with everything that was going on, you were naughty and everything, and then a lady ended up playing she's maybe too harsh towards you and everything. So with me, it was quite the opposite. You get it? With the absence of our father, our mother, like she tried to be, like she was there. But the problem is that in the absence of a father, mothers become like they overcompensate. You get it? They overcompensate, and that feminize you as a man or as boys. You get it? Because I'm a family of all boys. 6 of us and everything. So because of that experience and everything, obviously because I grew up in an environment where a mother overcompensates, I would need help to transcend into a man. But because for me it's comfortable, how would I know that I need help? Because now I can think when I use a thing sharp. Exactly. Yes, I'm here. As much as I lost a father, I have a loving mother. I have good relationships around me and all that. I have everything going on around me and everything. How would I know that I need help to transcend into a man. More so that we live in a society whereby it doesn't educate transcendence into adulthood.
We no longer have initiation schools and all of that.
Structures. Yes.
It's very difficult to answer that question because this thing manifests in different ways for different people, depending on then what kind of seeds were planted in you. You see, Kore seeds are very faithful to themselves. Okay? If you plant a lemon seed, you're going to reap lemons. A banana seed, you're going to. So as you continue, and it was comfortable for you, it looked okay. As you continue in life, and then you become a father or you become a boyfriend, you're going to realize, there is something that I am lacking as a man. And actually, I think you are the best person to answer that question, because as you are growing, and life is going to demand things from you. It's going to demand that you lead. It's going to demand that you become strong. It's going to demand that emotionally, your emotional intelligence will show in how you live your life. I usually say to people, wisdom is actually application of knowledge. How much of the knowledge that you have is translating into actual life lessons that people can look at. And so usually there are signs within us that show. A lot of children who grew maybe similar to you, they are spoiled. Because they were taught, no man, don't struggle. Things will be made available for you. Exactly. Your mother will not always support you the way she did when you were younger. Exactly. So as you grow up, you realize, for example, you said it at the beginning, you are not serious with school. You are not serious. What was that? Because the cushion that you were given did not teach you real life out there is a struggle. So you need to work hard today to make sure that tomorrow is better. With the presence of a man, he would have taken you all of those hard things, and it would have taught you natural, you know what, being a man means I need to be tough and do certain things to make sure those that are following me are there. So, like I say, to answer that, every tree will be faithful to its seed. The fruits that come out of your life will show you something was not done right.
Interesting.
To add on to that, I'm going to use him as an example. As somebody who I've coached. To answer his very question that he has an answer to.
Yes.
This is the same boy who was going through whatever he was going through in life. Alemoha at that point, because like you are saying, one, it's the seeds that are faithful. Like it. Two, so is God. Modimo wa go ba mo di situationeng tse leng gore di to go tama go ronne monna o rata kana o sa rate. So ha di kgwetho tse o dita, they come and they shake you. Kwena yo boss lady ya reng coaching di price di are the kalets. You understand what I mean? So even the universe itself is very faithful to all of us, but whether or not we heed the call is an entirely different situation.
How would they know that it's about me becoming a man?
It's the situations that are put. This is what I've learned coaching both men and women. Initially, go no gon beilwe dilo tse di tshwantsweng gore di re rupise, di re transcend into the next stages. Rata ka modernity ra lata. Mme this world is wired in a way e leng gore whether re ntshitse dilo kana yang, semowa sone se ta dira tiro ya semowa. Dilo tsone di ta go tela, an avalanche of problems will come, which have to be solved. O rata kana o sa rate. And that is your signal gore chaile maitso nna mosadi. Ngwana hata o imile. O sena mmago ka go thusang. That is an opportunity to come and say, be a woman. Take care. Ke re wena o bone go siame gore o ire ngwana o sa nyalwa. Ngwana mosimane same thing. Ngwana ke wa mosetsana o go lebile jodi ka. Ngwana ke yo. So even nature will come and it will do something like the pastor has said. And I like what he said, are the seeds, because even though you grew up with only your mom around, there are certain foundations se mmago a di setileng for you. Le ene go ngwa a sa lemoge. Tsa go eng? Tsa go ikobela mogolo a go rute. Wa bona re ntse. So even though you are going through something, ha boss lady a le teng ho, ha pastor a le teng ho, because of so se rutilweng ko gae, boikobo jo, o ikobela pastor, o ikobela boss lady, then wa gola. You get what I mean? Does that answer you?
I think also Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 4, 5. Just to confirm what you are saying about God in us. He says, before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you, and I ordained you for something. God is very intentional when he makes us. If you're a man, he wants you to be a man. If you're a woman, he wants you to be a woman. And each one of us have a specific purpose that we are coming into this world for. In my book, Restoring Your Soul, I talk about this. I say, when you are born, your identity is intact. Okay? In other words, what God has decided that you are is already in you. And then the enemy of your soul, the devil, starts attacking it. God was rejection. And it questions who you are. Brokenness, broken families. It questions. This thing keeps on questioning who you are and trying to destroy who God intended you to be. You understand? And so, and I usually say, your identity will lead to your purpose. And your purpose will lead you to fulfillment. When you see the boss lady doing her coaching, doing these things, this person is in her element. Because she enjoys this thing, even if no one pays her for it, it's in her. What is that? That's fulfillment. And where does that fulfillment come from? From her purpose. But where does her purpose come from? From her identity. So why is the devil trying to destroy everyone's identity? Because once he can dismantle who you are, as a man, he's going to dismantle your purpose. And that is why a lot of men are irresponsible. They are not doing their responsibility. There is no man who is healthy who will neglect their child, who will beat their wife. You understand? What has happened? Something was done to their identity as a man to destroy his purpose. And that is why instead of protecting their sisters, they are out there killing them. Because there was damage. Every GBV man, every insecure man, every man who does wrong, does something happen to their identity. And if we just bash them all the time and not try to go back to the root causes of that which damaged their identity,
I like that.
We are not solving the problem. We need to go back and find out what went wrong. And it takes us to the foundation. Where was there security? Was there a sense of belonging? Was there a sense of purpose? Was there a sense of identity from the very beginning? What destroyed that? And there are many things. There's a lot of research. In Botswana, there's so much. And we want to leave the boys and the girls and wait for them to correct. We don't want to correct the family. Because that's where you change everything. You understand?
I like that, Pastor. I like that.
I like that you saying that. You know.
Are you the host now?
Yeah, he is.
No, I'm just.
Wait, I don't go overview.
I knew we were going to get here. I knew we were going to get here.
Well, I like that you said that because as much as I am where I am right now, there's the journey that I've been on. I know that my age mates, you get it. I love the fact that you said problems would be the sign that it's time you become a man. It's time you become a woman.
A boy.
So like with my age mates, when problem comes, but you get it. You are this and that, what this and what not. Because like for me, ever since I've been on this journey, I love problems. You get it. I love challenges. You get it. I
look
prove
forward,
yourself. Exactly. I look forward to the next challenge. But with people, like some people, like when problem comes, this and that and everything. So, exactly. So I feel like that there's lack of that education, or you know what, matata a tshwanetse kore matata is placed by God
Yes.
to make you grow, to make you transcend into adulthood.
Yeah.
Anyway, who's the
No,
most?
sorry. No, 100%. And you know what? I have no problem with you, shifting. You know why? Because this is what we want to see, Joey. This is what we want to experience. We don't have these platforms where banna ba khona go bua ka dilo tse eleng gore di ama bone. Rona re le basadi re tla le bolella yang gore mathata a lona ke lona le sa nne amongst yourselves e be le bua gore le sa bone ibile lona le sa gakollane wa bona. And I think the next question for me, Pastor, ke yona kgang yone, I think for both of you, what I've really seen around this whole thing, women are the best. Women, they will have workshops. They will go and do the high tea. And they will talk about their rubbish and their nonsense. And affirm each other's rubbish and nonsense. But nonetheless, bakopane. We should be pele pelo. Ibile ba go tswa ho be ba boa ba dira di nonsense tsa bone gape, but at least ba mo. Banna are not doing any of that. Banna are not calling each other and saying, gentlemen, kota ha isa thola ile teng. So pastor go iragala yang lo go baakanya yang dilo go sena khota mme basadi bona ba khona go itsamela. Women that is why they've hijacked all the movements.
Mamidi has story.
Mamidi you na le her story.
But there's no his story.
Ha gona his story. Ha gona le ha ile sepe. Go sa we tell a little threaten ka men's conference nyane re se itse gatwe ya pheho wa bona. So I'm wondering gore guys, isn't it about time? Like, what's the conversation? Because the conversations that I see, Pastor, when I have conversations with men, I'm not the person who gets triggered, but an element these men, when they come together, advice batanyatsi wa banyatsi tisa le lwapa
Swana sa re monno se na nyetso ro ga rra
ke yo wa simolola ke yo hela wa simolola hela ke kore hela after a brilliant delivery by the pastor we are going right back to square one. You know what I mean? So what we're finding is that it's hard for the boy child gore a transforme a hole, because leone leadership role model ya gagwe e montsha mo tseleng. So what about that? How are we going to solve that? How are we going to address that?
Can
it
I
goes
answer
back
before
to
you? Can I please answer before? Like, can I?
Yes, my love.
From our generation, before you get to take it. I think it's because, like the pastor said, we've been too disappointed by men. You get it? There are no role models. You get it? From Kuala Ping hela, I mean,
Ministry agenda le disappointed ke mogolo ya no be le batangwana.
From Kuala Ping hela, the fathers are not in the home, like you said, Pastor. You get it?
Yeah.
So when like that father wound is just too much.
Yeah.
You know, it just break.
You are no longer listening.
Too much. Yeah, you get it. So boys become, or like they grow into adults by long like men has disappointed them too much to a point where they just don't listen to whatever that they say.
You just find your own path.
And we just find our own path. And go tswa kwa lapeng. Because kwa lapeng time ga why? Because stuff like that. I think it's different to some of us because we have some sort of closure because because he passed away. He didn't reject you. You get it? That's why some of us find us maybe like with mentors or in the right counsel. And all that. You get it?
You still have a sense of identity, as the pastor said.
Exactly. So moving on, the elder men, they have resigned in terms of
You know,
exactly. You know, they go this and that and everything. You know, I cannot come we are 21 and then I cannot come. I would rather come up with a podcast and then have this conversation in a podcast. Okay, for pastor, he would call us but because of how many continue to disappoint the people with false pastors and this and that and everything, you know, it becomes, and also ego ya monna hela, you know, you know what, this guy, he scams people, this and that. Quite like we don't believe in structures anymore because they have been misrepresented.
I get you.
You get it?
Understood.
Yes.
I get you.
And
Pastor?
what he's saying is very powerful. To answer your question, I agree with our side or our problem with men, it also comes from the roots. I love dealing with issues from the roots.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
I
because
agree.
if you don't deal with the
I
roots, then
agree.
I'm going to have a problem. What roots do men have? Monna ga a lele, monna ga a supi maikutlo, monna ga a bue thata. You understand? So society teaches us what monna must be quiet and deal with his issues alone. That is why when men do meet, go to barring, wherever, and what do they discuss? They discuss what a problem women are and how to deal with them. They don't go, they don't go deep inside of them and then talk about what bothers them. What is it that is why banna ba bua gantsi when they are intoxicated, because that's when they can talk all the nonsense.
That's when the subconscious mind
yes,
comes out.
it comes up. Yeah. So Rona at our church, because we have realized this, and I'm a big advocate of leadership, Yamon.
Yes.
Because the Bible is very clear. In the beginning, God made Adam first.
100%.
And then he brought Eve out of, the rib of Adam. And it's very interesting that God gave instructions of how to live to a man before the woman was made. And there is no record that God ever gave instructions to the woman. So what does this mean? It means that God trusted the man to give instructions to the woman. And that the man was supposed to lead. How did the fall come in? The fall came in when the man gave away his leadership and allowed the woman to lead the conversation. Do you know that when the serpent was talking to the woman, the man was right there?
Yes.
The Bible says, ultimately, when the serpent had convinced the woman to eat the fruit, the Bible says she gave the fruit to the man who was right there with her.
Yes.
So God had given instructions to the man.
Yeah.
The man gave the instructions to the woman. And then the snake came and spoke to the woman. Because whenever you change the order of God, chaos are bound to come.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So the serpent knew that.
Sorry, Pastor Kiri. What? So feminism changed the order of God, huh?
Exactly.
Wow. Exactly.
Yeah. So
Don't act brand new. We've been saying this for the past 5 years.
every time the order of God is changed, there's chaos. Every time. And that is why the devil has worked so hard to disable men in families so that women lead families. And when women lead families, they lead them kama good, or they lead them, and what happens?
Everywhere,
yeah,
actually.
everywhere. And I can tell you, I counsel a lot of young people. Almost 100%, 99 point something percent of our broken young people did not have a proper father figure in the home. You understand? So the enemy knows what if he changes any order of God, if he flips it around, he has a better chance of succeeding. And we see that throughout, from the Garden of Eden, throughout everything, whenever the order of God was flipped around. And so it is the responsibility of all of us to say, but what was the original order? And what do we do? So at our church, at Aruka, what we do is that we try to teach men, guys, if you don't take leadership roles in your family, you're going to lose your children. And what we do things that are manly. A lot of problems with churches and also whatever it is that we do for men is that everything is feminine.
Feminine, everything.
You understand? So it's taken. So everything is taken from a woman's perspective. You understand? For example, just this past weekend, our women had this dress up in colors. They had a picnic, but they were dressed up, pinky, red, all of this color, and it was beautiful for them. You understand? And they came. The women came. You try and organize something like that for men, they won't come. It's not their thing. So what we do is that we organize around the fire meetings. And everything, and then we sit, and I can tell you this. ever since we even went for hunting this year.
Yeah.
We went out as men, somewhere in Tswapo. And when we are around the fire, the way men open up.
Yeah.
It is in those meetings where some men were sharing about how they were abused by their ex-wives. They were sharing, and you see men really breaking because they're in a place where they feel safe because it's men, and men are talking about their inner being. And a lot of men have been healing. Even in our church, men cry, elderly men. Yesterday, actually, I was celebrating our chairman who was turning 70. We have seen, and my wife was talking about him and the secretary are elderly men. He's 70. The secretary is 65. 2 weeks ago, they were crying in church, publicly going to hug other men, and we saw men crying, breaking. Because what we are trying to do, we are trying to get men to be in touch with their emotions, something that has been really, discouraged as they were growing up. And when we become in touch, there's a balance. In my book, I talk about men being logical in their approach to life and women being emotional in their approach to life. And so what we do is that when we are logical like that, we kill the emotions. So we don't feel women. Like women, usually when they communicate to us, they communicate emotions. But when you don't have an ability to connect to emotions, all you want to do is to argue, to make sense to somebody who is hurting. And we teach them that as a man, instead of trying to argue and win the argument, you must try and hear the emotion of your woman and address that first. I'm sorry I made you feel this way by what I did. Instead of, no, but you don't understand. This is how, explaining things, you can't explain emotion. Let the woman know that you understand their pain first. And once they understand that you understand their pain, then you can explain things, you understand? So we have to go back and teach men to be once again, not feminine, but in touch with their whole self. That is both their logic and their emotions in a healthy, balanced way.
But Pastor, how do you teach men become men?
Before
because,
you say
like
that,
I
we've
said,
got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So this is part 2.
Yeah.
Let's kind of head part 2.
Yes. How do we teach men become men? Because, like I said earlier, in our society or in a world that is around me, she's the only one who's always making noise about men. There's leadership, what this and what not. You get it? I don't think we have proper structures and institutions they teach. Like she mentioned earlier on, we lost the initiation schools and everything, and ever since then, it's like it has always been a downward spiral for men. And as Boss Lady mentioned, they still have her story.
Yeah.
Women evolve, this and that, what this and what not, but Joey won't do that too in front of you.
I'm here for you, darling.
And everything. So she has always been, in my case, Joey, you have learned how to become a man. Teach other boys to become a man.
Exactly.
But there's always that thing here, like, this thing, So how do you get to teach men become men?
Yeah,
Like,
it goes back to what I said earlier. You shall know them by their fruits. What a life is going to teach you there's something wrong.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
And I think we have enough conversations that are going on today everywhere where we are realizing and we are coming to acknowledge we have a problem of men, of leadership. There's GBV. And my hope is that talk shows like this, podcasts like this, conversations like what she says, she's very radical in the way she approaches, and we need that. Will help.
She's cancelled for this.
I don't care. The message is getting there. What pastor ki ba? What pastor na ba nkutwa? Ke lona hela ba le sa nkutwi. O bana na le pastor. Ra utwana. Ke lona hela ba le sa nkutwi.
So as we make noise and we teach, we're highlighting the problem.
Yeah.
And when we see the problem, any sane person wants to solve the problem. And that is why it's very important to masole. How do they equip masole to become men, healthy men, You know, how do Mapodisi teach other? You know, the stories that you hear from the forces. That's so, it's so sad. You understand? And I think sometimes Masole, Mapodisi, they try to cover up, or they actually have indiscipline. I think it's about discipline, and this discipline usually, it loses the touch, the emotional touch of a man and their identity. That is why there's a lot of anger that builds up, because even the way they actually treat each other, they create a lot of anger within them. So to accept that their system is failing sometimes is tough. And I think as voices come from outside the church, from people like her and others, they have to come to admit, or no, we have a problem and we need help. And therefore we need to be coached, we need to be taught. But how do we deal with issues that we are having right now? It's not easy because of, you know, this whole mentality about men and how they should be. But I think the problems, they've caught up with us and we must do something about it.
Yeah, I think personally, Hela, to be quite honest, and I'm going to be the adult in the room, always having to say what nobody wants to say. Our very government, okay? Our very government, it's not like Hormenta Harabuni. It's not like Hormenta Hatobona conversation. We are not, for some reason, I think we have no faith in certain people because of the way maybe we show up on Facebook. I a certain kind of way. Joey, I'm one person who I have submitted a proposal. Ke na le di qualifications ke na le tsone ke itse se ke se itseng ke re ke na le di coaching program tse di ka thusang batho be gote unfortunately at this current moment when people are killing people. That's number one. Number two, government a rona must understand gore tiro ya gagwe ga se go tsaya burden yotlhe ya sengwe le sengwe ke go engage batho ba ileng gore they know what they're talking about. The Agathas of this country. So some of these problems, you can't solve them. Kadionyana, di toka di pastor, di toka di khosi, di toka di life coach, di toka di psychologist. We cannot have our president standing there and trying to tell us about life. Our president is there to govern. The divorcee leave them to us. Molao, the lawyers will teach us. Kamolao. People are out, they are not in their positions. So it becomes difficult for us to solve problems. We are schooled and well versed in. A piece of the pie. Instead of, if you are into marketing, stay in marketing. Don't come and advise us about parenting. Everybody must stay in their lane. Whether you agree or disagree with Boss Lady does not take away from the fact that she is certified and qualified in what she does. And she has paid good money to get educated. I don't even have to go anywhere. You are my flex, Mobujan. People have seen your transformation from Masapa Mahakabi to sitting here. Obo buale pastor, okona go hold a conversation. Okona go bua le ragwe ngwana nyanole o ko tronkong akere. And really o bua le polite kanya prostitution. Why are we not being called? Pastor, but what I mean, how small-minded can you be when we've got serious problems?
I thought you would get the sign. I'm sorry to disturb this, but we're in the cream of the show. I want us to act like Joy is this camera. The government is, someone is watching. I want them to film as much as Joy is filming, but we're getting our side. You know how we feel. I want that on camera. I want that.
Okay, madam. I mean, you know, I have a lot of respect for this man. You know why? Right. Because he's not your typical pastor. Na ke the typical pastor because had you real life. Mo Botswana re talk about ba buang real life. We don't need people who are going to sugarcoat. Hey, what? Batho ba swa ga le boneng. People are perishing. People are dying. And you know, I always say, be very careful how you deal le your gender kana bana ba bangwe. Because kamoso, it's going to be your children. Because you had the ability and the authority to change things, you didn't. And now your children. In the Bible, it says it is the children who are going to pay for the father's sins. Ha ke itse gore le bana ba ebele le iphendukulositse kana ya kona.
Let me
Actually, what you are saying is very powerful because as a parent,
Eh.
the battles I failed to win, I live for my children. One of the reasons why our society is where we are in is because our fathers failed to win the battle that they were supposed to win. And so they have left them for their children. The giants you don't conquer in the land,
100%.
you are leaving them for your children.
Can I play the devil's advocate though?
Do your thing.
Do you think they know? She was addressing the government. Do you think they know that this very conversation that we're having, it's the, you know, like it's the one that addresses the foundation of all the social ills? I mean, do you think that the leadership know the importance of men in society? Because that education is not there anymore, and it's quite disappointing that the importance of men on social media, it's always talked about by a woman.
And
do
that,
you think
that pisses me off so much, right?
yeah, do you think our lovely minister of youth and gender knows that? Do you think our respectful minister of health is aware of that? Do you think that our president, even his predecessors, do you think they are aware of that? Because this is like some sort of a psychological and spiritual and life thing. You get it?
Yeah, I think sometimes we think government is some entity that just fell from somewhere. This
People.
is part of the society. These are people that we interact with. These are people, it's us. These are people that have struggling with these things. So you know, I think sometimes when people are up there in their offices, we are caught up in the policies, in the milao, and then translating it into real practical things can become very, very difficult. I know, Hela, looking at the previous governments, was more important than what you are
actually saying. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And for me, it would be very sad to see, even in the new government, ubua ole mang is more important than what you are actually offering.
Yeah.
And my wish is that they will actually, like I was saying earlier, I believe in dealing with the root causes of the problems. You understand? A lot of these problems do not originate from the government.
Excuse me. Yeah.
It's from the family,
Yeah.
from down there.
Yeah.
What is the government doing in promoting family? Let me give you a simple example. I think our government is very careless when it comes to transfers. Kore monna onna mo gaborone le mosadi. Bo ba ditse ba transfer ra mosadi ba mo isa gantsi.
Yeah.
What is that doing to the family situation? Monna o go hukuntsi o ra mohira re, look, ke na le lebaka ke sa nne le bongwanake, and this has cost my family. Can you bring me closer to where my family is? They don't listen to that. Kore mabaka a lekang go strengthen the family. And remember what I said about family. It's supposed to give a child a sense of belonging, a sense of identity, a sense of security. Instead of the government making policies and being very aware of these things and making those small contributions to bringing families together. Monna, how mako gantsi for years and years. As a nele bana ba gago. You understand? So what are we doing? And part of the reason why we are where we are today is because borra rona mogolo bana ba tsamaile go Johannesburg ile bereka go di mine. Go bo go sala go nna le mathata mo lapeng. A woman was left alone. Ba ba iphetelang ka tsela. That's why no go nna le in betweens. These are things that we are dealing with because the father was not there to guide, to lead. You understand? That's why even in married couples, it was still the mother who was raising these kids. Why? Because the father was away. You know, the father is almost trippy.
Yeah.
You know, so we have a problem there. What is the government doing in its policies to preserve the family? Because our problems, they start from there.
Ke yone kgang e ke e botsang pastor gore, do you think they know
They
that,
know.
that the
I
disruption
agree, they
of
also
the
have
family-
families.
Yeah.
Don't they have families themselves?
Mind you, Minister of Gender is 27 years old. Do you think she knows that the disruption of the family is the root cause of all social ills? And also, the current regime, a lot of them, they might be older than us, but PSL.
Joey, you are 21, isn't it? Are you 21?
Yes, I'm 21.
He's the one-
Are you not talking? Are you not talking sense? Are you not talking sense about these things?
I am, but it's something
Yeah,
that
but
I wasn't
a
taught
27.
as girl.
Yeah, no, but a 27-year-old minister of youth. She's a lawyer, a trained lawyer. This is somebody who is able to think, who is able to argue, who is able to use logic. You understand? Na a ke na mathata gore motho o di ngwaga di kae. Are you able to apply your mind to the real issues that are out there? Gompieno as a 21-year-old, bagolo ba go reditse kwa lapeng. You are talking sense. You understand?
Motho o 30 pastor yo.
Hey.
Le sa gore a mogolo o 21.
No, actually, he was turning 21 earlier. So, but what I'm saying, you need to apply yourself to the things that are there. Know what is the problem. Find out what the solution is. Apply your mind.
Kapela pastor, the assumption is that when I take a post and say I'm going to govern Lahats, do I not see the importance of educating myself and going under the wing of those who might know more than me? So, do they know?
Yeah.
It is your responsibility to learn if you don't know. If at all you came from a single parent home and you didn't see what it looks like to be in a full family, you must go and study it and find out what the benefits are, because that's what you want. Now my biggest problem, I've always said this to you, and you've always said it to me on Taor. You are the one person who has made me realize the importance of family. But Tswana ga ba itse mosola wa family. Ga ba itse mosola wa mosadi,
Including our leadership. Can I go in a kgang ke e
ga ba itse mosola wa mosadi, ga ba itse mosola wa monna, ga ba itse mosola wa ngwana, ga ba itse mosola wa extended family. Ba bona batho hela ba tshela hela. So until you understand the importance of the nuclear family, there is no way you are going to be able for as long as le condona divorce hela phatalatsa le sena mono wa gore a ragisanye ha go besa berekeng ha go bereki. If you don't have that mindset, e santse lutole ke keta GBV.
Actually, there's a saying, family is central to the purposes of God. It's very interesting that even God, in him wanting to reach to us, he uses the family. I mean, the Lord's Prayer, how does it start? Our Father who art in heaven. So even the entrance into the presence of God is through the family, where the Father, and if you say our Father, does it make sense to you? If you never had a good father, and your entrance into the presence of God is through the father figure, you see how important father figures are to God, because he wants us to go into his presence through that door. And so it's very important for all of us to realize that family is really very central to the purposes of God. And therefore, we must do everything as government,
preserve
as
it.
pastors, as civil society, as coaches, to make sure that we preserve the family. We do everything in our power to promote the family.
Yeah, the reason why I posed this question to both of you guys is because I'm trying to challenge you, Hori. You have institutions, right? Get our leaders into your programs so that they get to learn and know the importance of family.
But we want
everything.
meetings we don't get. We are asking, not we want. We ask for meetings, we are not given meetings. What more must we do? We have submitted proposals. They have been rejected. So Rona, all we can do is sit here ebe re bua le bana. Hopefully bana ba ba re lebelelang, ba ba re followang, ba ba re ratang, ba ba re utlwang. Ke bone ba e leng gore re tla ba saver, and that's more than enough for us.
Host, but I would like us, if time allows, kana pastor ke pastor as you know, ke pastor tautona, you know. So I'd like us to maybe, I don't know, how's it going, Pastor? Is our president okay? Is he good? I mean, you know, Kana Pastor again.
Right, so we're talking about men here, okay?
He's a man.
Thank you, wait.
Our ultimate leader is he, how is our ultimate leader doing? You know, is he good? You know, there's in the Bible like we must always pray for our leaders and everything. You know, care for them and all that.
Yeah. At the beginning, I told you I don't want to be in politics today. Please let's just talk about men. But what I can say concerning your questions is that our president is overwhelmed.
Okay.
Yeah, he's overwhelmed. He has a desire to solve all the problems quickly.
Yeah.
And of course, you know how it is when you're taking in too much at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yes, we must pray for him. We must pray that things will go well. The intentions, he has good intentions for the country, but the execution, the practicality of it, you know, we still to see how it will go. The other thing is that power in you know, when people come into power, their perspective changes. Where when people are in power, the power is very powerful. They have a sense that they are invisible. They know, you know. Had that thing. So you find a situation where they come with proposal. People have different ideas, but they are in power, and it's like they are the ones who decide what is right and what is wrong, what must be allowed and what must not be allowed. You understand? And that is why we must pray for people who are in power to remain having that heart of God towards his people. You understand? Yeah. So it's a complicated situation, a complicated question.
So, Mr. Joey,
Yeah, man.
can we harela?
Yes. Like the honors are yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, I think before we even finish, like, this has been so amazing. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Pastor. Always a pleasure chatting to you. But Joey, for you, in light of your journey and you being a young father, a young man, I
get a no idea.
What would you say to your peers, the young men out there who are struggling in their own spaces?
Yeah.
Word of encouragement, word of advice, what would you say to them as a Rahwe overview?
Yeah, the most important thing is that, you know, education is important.
Yes.
You get it?
Yes.
And also, well, schooling is important.
Yes.
And also, there's a lot of education outside school.
Yes.
You get it?
Yes.
The most important, you need wisdom in life. And that wisdom, however you get,
Yeah.
you get it?
Yeah.
It's outside school.
Yeah.
For you to become, like we have, I learned of a thing called boy psychology. A lot of men are stuck in
boy psychology.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know, a lot of boys are in like are stuck in men's bodies.
Yes.
Because they don't transcend into manhood.
Into manhood.
And for you to transcend into manhood, you get it. You need some sort of education.
Yes.
You get it. You need to learn how to become a man. And one thing is that until we all of us transcend into men, the social ills like they're always going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, fact is that until men become men, GBV is always going to be there.
Yeah.
Child negligence, like the pastor said, is always going to be there. All these things, you know, more like more it's not like real or anything. It's because we are not men enough. So what I'd like to say is that, yo, gents, like, let us learn how to become men. Like, it's simple as that. Let's learn how to become men. You know, do whatever it takes to invest in this education. You get it? Learn to become men. And also, people like you, boss lady, people like Pastor, people like, there are a lot of mentors out there. A lot of pastors out there, like a lot of people who are doing good already, you know. Like I'm mentorship, and then I mentorship program, I make it 30,000. highly thankful because like you are buying experience, yeah. Good, like you are, it's a shortcut.
I think there's also the issue, even if you can afford those things, there are certain things that you can also exchange. What are you doing in your individual space? Because
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, so I guess Pastor should chip in.
Yes, Pastor.
Yeah. I want to say to men, you are more than your muscles. You are more than your job. You are even more than your mistakes. You know, you are a spirit who has a soul, who lives in a body, and you have a purpose.
Yeah.
You must allow yourself to heal. Be in touch with who God made you to be. Allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. You don't always have to be vulnerable, but at some point in your life, you need to be vulnerable and deal with the issues, the cravings that you have that always put you in trouble. And as you deal with those things, and you need to acknowledge what went wrong in your life. You need to choose to forgive the past, whether it was your father, your mother, whatever. You need to reject the decisions that you made that are sabotaging you, that go against the word of God. And then you need to ask God to heal you. When you do that, you actually allow yourself to be reset, to be made in the image that God originally intended for you to be. And once you are at that level, you are going to begin to fly. Your wings will grow, and you will begin to fly and become everything that God has intended for you to be. And so I want to encourage you. It doesn't matter how broken you are. You heard my story. I want you to know that there is hope for you. There is hope even when you have really blundered big time. God is there to help you become everything that He made you to be, and you can trust Him.
Amen. And I think just real quick on my side, gentlemen, this one was for you. And as somebody who grew up with a father and a mother in a two-parent home, very supported by my parents, I know the importance of a man. Ibili, naralo talk agents. Not many women talk like this, and I'm not out here to say I'm special or anything. The fact of the matter is, society crumbles. We need you healthy, we need you strong, we need you fit, we need you in leadership positions, we need you to drive this sinking ship. That's all. Pastor,
you mean prayer?
Prayer, yes.
All right. Father, we just want to thank you for your grace. Thank you for everyone who is listening to this, who listened to this. May this spark conversations within them. May it help them to look deep within themselves, look into their brokenness, and ask you, oh God, to show them the way. You say, seek me and you will find me if you seek me with all of your heart. So I pray, Heavenly Father, for everyone who has listened to this, both men and women, children, young people, may we all introspect. May we look within and call upon you, oh God, because you have promised that you will answer. May you bless this show. May you bless the hosts, bless all of those, the producers, those who are behind cameras, and may this message go far and challenge many lives. In Jesus' name, Lord, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Overview podcast. Okay. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think one of our podcasting is that you get it. Can we do it together? All of us. Overview, like overview podcast, then vorpa.
Okay.
Yes. Overview podcast.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.